One of the more complicated things that people seem to have an issue with is contradictions. I think people tend to think that a contradiction is when argument wrong. But a contradiction is actually when two propositions cannot share the same value. If one is true, then one has to be false. If one is false, then one has to be true. If I say that I am sitting and also standing, I can't do both at the same time. I've contradicted myself. And so understanding it in this way is important because, for example, a lot of people have issues with maintaining internal critiques and objective truth. A lot of people come along and say, okay, well, if your first proposition is true, then argument your second proposition is false. But the mistake they make is not actually believing that the first proposition is true. They're just doing it for the sake of argument, which is fine for argument's sake, but it is not fine for the sake of objective truth. The first premise being true motivated that the second premise was false, and objectively you think that the first premise is not true, then you haven't proven objectively that the second premise is false. You have only proven that the person you're arguing against has an inconsistent belief system. You haven't actually made an affirmative argument for your belief. And if you're not careful, you're going to implicitly rely on this first proposition being true, even though you think it's false, and you're going to contradict yourself.